What are the different forms of diversities? There are huge classifications, organizations talking about various different things. It could be confusing where to get started. So I would state that probably focus on 7 key classifications. Let's take a quick look at them. The number one top focus by a lot of organizations is definitely the gender ratio. Gender is no longer binary, which is male and female. It is a spectrum now. So a lot of sensitization is definitely required on the gender aspect. It also involves not just sensitizing your employees or hiring, increasing your gender ratios across all levels, but also looking at what your policies, process, how is it worded? Are you still using he, she, or have you started using they, them, theirs in your policies, in your application forms? Are you having various different categories? So that's something that's very important when you're focusing on gender diversity. Moving on to the second top category is on the regional and cultural aspect. A regional cultural aspect definitely talks about region where people come from across different states, different religion, different language. That's something that's very, very important for organizations, especially organizations in BPO companies where they need 24/7 support, irrespective of festivals and holidays. You need to have a diverse mix of people to support your end customers. The number 3 aspect is on hiring people with disabilities. So even if you're not hiring, at least the sensitization awareness is very, very important. The reason being, statistics have shown that 1% of the population are born with disabilities, whereas 7% have acquired disabilities because of some disease or accidents, and this can happen to any of your employees at any point of time, right? So are you equipped to handle in case of any issues? And are your employees being sensitive enough to the various different forms of disabilities? It's not just the visible ones, but there are a lot of invisible forms of disabilities. The different categories under disabilities would be physical disability, sensory disability, emotional wellness. Someone could be depressed. Are you even aware? Are your employees aware on how to handle them? And there are a lot of other invisible forms as well. Moving on to the fourth category is on generational diversity. The various different generations, Gen X, Gen Y, Gen Z, people need to be aware of what strengths each and every generations bring in and how you need to collaborate and work together. So it's no point saying that, hey, we were like this and during our young days and the current generation is not like this. So it is each and every one bring their own strength, and very essential for all your employees to be aware of what are they dealing with. Are your processes still the age-old policies and processes that you're following, or is it in tune with the current generation? That is something for you to take a look. The next one, the LGBTQ. This is another one. In the last couple of years, a lot of awareness is coming up and a lot of movies have started talking about it. It's very, very important, and statistics, various different statistics have shown that people in your organization, at least 10% of them are already part of that community. Probably they've not disclosed it, but because it talks about both gender identity and the sexual orientation as well. So if you have 1,000 employees, probably already 10%, 100 of them are probably part of that community. So is your language inclusive? As leaders, are you addressing people as good morning ladies and gentlemen, or good morning folks, good morning everyone? Have you started talking about pronouns, the importance of what pronouns are? Are you being more sensitive about addressing people for events, inviting people, inviting your husbands and wives, or inviting your partners and spouses? These are languages very, very essential that organizations should be aware of, because probably your customers are part of that community or your employees are already part of this community. So definitely sensitize your employees around that. And the other two aspects with multinational companies, definitely they are focusing on ethnicity, race, and also on bringing back veterans into workforce. So these are some of the key diversity forms that organizations are definitely focusing on is very, very essential for sensitizing all your employees about these key words, that they can be very inclusive when they are interacting. The language has to be inclusive, and that way you're going to create a much more safer and harmonious workplace. For any further queries, do reach out to me, and I will see you in my next episode on more topics on POSH, diversity, inclusion, and on employee wellness. Thank you.